Thank you very much, Chairman, for the opportunity. Many of my questions will be public interest questions. I am not a lawyer, so forgive me if I don't come across as such. First of all, earlier, some colleagues asked you questions about, at least to us ordinary people, the question of contempt of court, especially the Supreme Court, is quite a nebulous one because we read, I have read severe criticisms of, for instance, the Supreme Court judgment in the United States, where even speakers described judgments in quite severe terms, and we don't see anything. But it's as if in Ghana, people are ordinary until they become Supreme Court judges, and they said, look, you can't say that about Supreme Court judges. What exactly
Honorable Member, that's not correct. So, kindly take that out of your...
Which one is?
That they are ordinary until they become Supreme Court judges. No. It's not what you think. It's not correct, please. Honorable, let me guide you. What? Honorable Suhini, please.
Okay, let me say it this way. I see ordinary people I know as lawyers, and the day they become Supreme Court judges, it's as if they are completely different human beings that must be treated. I'm saying, that is my view. Why don't you allow me? Honorable Esla, even when you were saying things about Honorable Yariga, which were not factual, we allowed you to say
proceed with your question, please.
Is it? Oh, no, you said she came through a by-election, but
and he corrected that right there and then. We have a right to do that.
Chairman, is she actually the chairman currently?
But if you mention my name and make an incorrect statement,
then why don't you just allow me to make?
Can I have some order here?
You mentioned my name.
Honorable Minister, please. I haven't given you the floor. I shouldn't give you. I haven't given you the floor. Please proceed.
Okay. Your Ladyship, is it the case that when the boundaries of what contempt is are not quite clear, people are allowed to say whatever they say? Now you have gone beyond the boundary. My question is this. I can see that you are a scholar because you've written books and you've done certain things. Will you make a commitment to perhaps help codify the what you call contempt and describe the boundaries so that in the case that somebody is making comment, the person will know that you don't have to be a lawyer, but you know that this is the boundary. Would you help or give an assurance that there will be a way to codify what is contempt in this country? Because ever so often, Your Ladyship, we've seen, even colleagues, members of parliament, one person will say one strange thing about the judiciary, and in the eye of the public, he gets patted at the back of his hand, and then another one comes from the other side, and it's as if that person is treated completely differently. And I'm saying this, you know what I'm saying. I take the case, listen, I take the case of the Munche 3, and then our own colleague, Honorable Kennedy Ejepon. And as an ordinary person in the country, I ask myself, what is the balance? Why is it difficult for the court to come up with at least similar judgment so that we know the boundaries? So that is why I said that I'm not a lawyer. So if you answer this question, then you ask, you tell me whether it is necessary for us to codify what contempt is so that ordinary people know the boundaries within which we protect the sanctity and the integrity of our courts and the practitioners for our own good. That's my first question.
You know, the challenge of our work is that every case is fact-specific. So you have myriads and millions of different sets of facts. And then we have sets of legal principles. And our job is to apply the principles to the different sets of facts. sometimes the law that's applicable is in statutes, sometimes is in common law principles, etc. Sometimes is in regulations, different arenas of law. That's the challenge of our work. That's the skill we apply. And therefore, I can understand why you may be confused about why this and why not that one. It may be the facts of the case. I'm not vouching for it, but it may be different facts. In asking why the Supreme Court responds, I think that I had earlier indicated that we are custodians of 400 courts, judges, hapless citizens who are doing their best. And we must ensure that the administration of justice is not denigrated in a manner that is not allowed by law. On the issue of whether the law on contempt can be codified, I think that's a very interesting request. I will look at it.
Thank you. Instance, they call it birth registration form, Form A. B, a portion called B, particulars of mother. Under that, 9, it states a national of. So the mother has to state whether he's a Ghanaian or she's a Ghanaian or not. And then when you come to C, under that, 16, also the father, you have to state the national of the father. When you come to the certificate that is issued to the person, it is quite clearly written the nationality of the person, because the person have ticked the 2 boxes. The mother or the father is a Ghanaian. Therefore, he or she qualified to be a Ghanaian. So if today, the ruling, according to our colleague, is that a birth certificate is just a mere record of birth, what then? Why it is as if a birth certificate is not a proof of nationality? Meanwhile, on the form, you will have to certify clearly that you are a national before you are given a certificate as a national of this country.
Honorable Member, Honorable Chair, citizenship is a matter of law. Nationality is a matter of law. Certain jurisdictions, being born in that place makes you a citizen of that country. In our country, being born in Ghana doesn't make you a citizen of Ghana. It is your relationship with your mother, it is your mother's identity, your father's identity, it is your lineage that determines your citizenship. So, that form records, that form is actually an international requirement. We must know where everybody is born. That form assists to know your antecedents. But beyond that, your nationality is derived from the information on that form. It is not the evidence of your nationality. It is the beginning of appreciating how your nationality must be determined. It's an originating process.
So if I hold a birth certificate duly issued by a state institution in Ghana, Registrar of Births and Deaths, and it states nationality, Ghanaian, are you saying that that is not enough proof of the nationality of the bearer of that certificate?
May I answer you this way? If you had an English person come and live in Ghana and have a baby in Ghana, that person would have a birth certificate. But that person's record of the parents on that birth certificate would indicate that they are not Ghanaian. So the certificate is a record of where he was born. It is not an indication of the citizenship.
So, for instance, I've already said that in the generation of the certificate, I quoted on birth registration form, Form A, Part B, particulars of mother, because if your mother is a Ghanaian, a child from that mother can claim.
Honorable member, from the birth certificate, if your mother is Ghanaian, if your father is Ghanaian, then we can conclude that you are Ghanaian. But from that certificate, if your mother is not Ghanaian, your father is not Ghanaian, that certificate is a record that you are not a Ghanaian. So it is a record that allows us to, I am doing legal deduction. I don't know how else to express myself.
So can I use a birth certificate issued by the births and deaths in this country that says I'm a Ghanaian? Can I use it to prove my nationality as a Ghanaian?
The birth certificate will never tell you that you are Ghanaian. The birth certificate records where you were born and the nationality of your parents.
So the information on that certificate that says that my mother is a Ghanaian, my father is a Ghanaian, would that be sufficient to prove my nationality as a Ghanaian?
No. Will be sufficient to arrive at the conclusion that you are Ghanaian. It's the beginning point.
Karen, your ladyship. Your ladyship, can a Ghanaian passport holder use a Ghanaian passport as proof of being a Ghanaian?
I believe so. Because before you arrive at the passport, all your antecedents, such as the birth certificate, would have been evaluated.
Okay. By your, I'm saying it in a very respectful way. By your age, I don't know where my birth certificate is today. By your age, it is more likely that if you are asked to prove your nationality, you might produce your passport rather than birth certificate. Is that the case?
I have my birth certificate.
Okay, Mrs. Speaker, once she offered that she's got it, can she produce it to be added? Oh yes, to be added to the document. Yes, Mr. Speaker. I did not ask for it. She volunteered it, so if she can add it to the document, we are requesting.
Let's proceed with your further questions, please.
I have.
Abusua nwumrei memo adwomu akwa Amanyosem dwumadi no ahyase no nkomo yi yebekoso wedi Ghanafoɔ adwomu ntanta eno ahyase no so yebekoso ato aso ne ebisebisa ye nyina ato adwen dia fa Ghana be ye nyina ya adwen kire ne de akyekire o man titwe be wa fide frɛ no anka kye nsebre na so mfa video into original TV wo hwɛ yen enso so e social media handles no so akọ Instagram, Twitter na original TV je dem person ye ma me se wo fa phone no te say ye nuan ma mo hwɛ wo phone so no to wo fa phone na wako o hwehwa o search original TV Facebook ubehu ye ho, Instagram ubehu ye ho, Twitter ubehu ye ho, wi a na afei wa like your program no wa follow ye page no so edwumadi ahodo aye from Monday to Friday nyina no ubenya nyina hwe bibia ho pepepe na YouTube so wa follow ye ho no nene ye bedi nkomo bebre ye na bedi IMF conditionalities no Supreme Court ye Chief Justice nominee Kopiem vetting committee nyama hodo bi pie ba no so ye bedi di ho nkomo kakra wo ho no mo a Dr. Baumia the Vice President Ashabo say aban be cheche tablet e di ama asuafo na ni kasem ni say sa boshe na Vice President ka ho asem no ada no wonim say 2021 o ka sa asem ni sa aban be cheche tablet no 2021 no show, 2022 no show. Now the Vice President is repeating the same pledge, the same promises 2023. Say by the end of this year, about which is a tablet in India. The question could be say the niece ye here a suyafu here with schools a hold on is it tablet? And near my ye here our secondary schools a hold on to see a tablet and we are talking about school feeding programs ebesine year caterers in Wedriani because ye into moka. We are talking about a secondary schools and we need to be shorty for a month. Now I feel ye rationing we are our honum teacher trainee college in home chronoba. Is it prudent? Looking at the economic situation, we see it make economic sense. Say a best idea Ghana is quarter tablet. Na ye dear mama fra. One thing so say, and how convenient is it? The truth of the matter is say, the same one course university and I say work program. say your mouse slice na say e wo phone na wusua e different so o print it na physical hard book no hard copy ni the wani na wusua e very different e mo free the tablet kwa komo omo ya hwe the cost if you could durability can say durability so metimi ahweso yempo sabria nka na ahya se dundundum tablet ensema hodo bebre na ye de ne abegu nsani ani na etu ne sre ne abasa ne ahwede tuamu ankasa but ne yebedi koma hodo bebre me do bekọ eye aboso kan so na ye nya ne ntie se eye aboso kan papers dealers e declare almost support the ama one eye parliamentary aspirant bi a contest to MPP mu yebedi ensem no ho nkomo ne awe se no kre ana se enye no kre enti eye ene twen na yenko nkobo nkomo ahodo bebre emfamra na ma mehye sa nkomo na se mfamfiri eye aboso kan spare pass wo no honum na obekan a 2016 election enyama bako edi ntentema ma Ghana fo bebre onjemu ya aboso kan fo ru omo play eye in their support for candidate Nana Akufo-Addo omo donate over 200,000 Ghana, which is over 2 billion cedis the man Nana Akufo-Addo campaign almost a campaign the man after the election spare pass boy import duty cost ring one boso kan for so omo wiwi omo cheso my disappointed ntene sa kwoti sa asam no ne ho behia se bedu nsuko na yedi ewremu mame ko na yenhwe sa ensam no emfamra ye ka say NPP opin eye nominations e de ama omo kwa akopre o mampani adwa presidential nomination forms o ma sha se omo peke e ba no parliamentary nomination forms NPP entimi MBA ye de enenti ape NPP for ankasa guidelines no ensese any aspirant cry in posters no de file but we call eye Ablekuma Central amu enaboso kan wono a that's not the case enanwumre enawia me kofa ho me free Kolebu me free MJ where me koyo mususu mi na se yese ba metare fofora me ba no me hu se eye one of the aspirant and didi eja Fisaki akọ mampeni atena ye Jubilee House a one ya odisa presidential diary ne ede eba ono ne de ebo ho no mu a ebo na enkomo ba ko ho ni ukọ eye hot fm ghana.com I say aboso kan spare pass association declares support for Ablekuma Central MP aspirant Jefferson Saki Ena Odiaba. Okan story now see the Deputy Director of Communication at the Office of the President, Mr. Jefferson Kwamina Saki, has pledged his support to the new leadership as Dealers Association. Or say he also used the opportunity to formally inform them of his intention to contest the Ablekuma Central NPP parliamentary candidature when nominations were open and asked for the support of the association. Mr. Saki gave the assurance when he called on the new leadership of the association. The purpose was to congratulate them on their new positions and to assure them of the government's continuing support. Na Otwaswa, I know they about say ability. Mr. Saki particularly congratulated the chairman Henry Autry for his enormous contribution to the development of the association over the years and wished him well in his own endeavor. All the twaso eba has here as sema or the eto present where Mr. former blah 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 blah. Meanwhile, the incumbent member of MPP Abdul Latif representing the National Democratic Congress who won the competitive retain his seat in 2024 now also ewoye dwumadi na asibi enti eyade a oma publish headline no chese aboso kan spare pass dealers e declare support e de ama eye yewura abrantie Jefferson Saki oye adwuma mampani atenaye mame nkwa ahoma no so na me ne yenua no aboso kan spare pass bi enkwatwetwe enkomo yenua eye Bernard ewo ahoma no so na Bernard eye aboso kan eye concern spare parts dealers omunyina eka aboso kan eye omomudili spare parts wo ya aboso kan on krase no ho ye sense betumi aka ne na bonkoma ben wote menka
monto mejo so
apomi ade
obada daroma mo ye pa mi dise mo so mo ye
yeah who this publication chese aboso kan spare parts dealers for more demo support ede ama Jefferson Saki or aspire to be a parliamentary candidate for a MPP. They are yet to even open nomination. No cre. Say mo declare mo support ede amano.
Mame na wa hwe for na me no bi biase. E di ni ye Techi Ado.
Okay, Techi Ado. Sure.
PRMA National Consent Papers.
Okay.
Now, before Henry Ochi Bebano, me as PRMA Consent Papers, no, me pay major rule, me discover no be able to catch him and me will rule or my association currently. No.
Okay.
It's the reason why me no kasa on behalf of chairman, no, because of say 80% me na me dey buy the chairman.
Okay.
Ha, na issue ni say time na Saki Babu Sokano, and you know, on Mr. Collins. I think that Amos appear.
Yeah, Collins Samoa.
Or MPP, PC.
Yeah.
And
aspirant.
Aspirant. And Ebenezer, former MP. And Daniel Bulatif. Omina a premature rule of Sokan development.
Okay.
Now, then say, and you communicate because now I say, I'm tell you, baby.
Okay.
Say Abusoka Association no declare on support ma Jeffrey Saki. That is not so. And then question, Chairman Henry Ayubia or no oba for Abusoka and as as a whole, but not to support any political party.
Okay.
He's there to support anybody, NDC, NPP, CPP, anybody at all. So Obama Nasi. Now Jeffrey no Eba Abusoka more than Oma Kani Nantu. It's in a movie that say. Ebi anasa na ekoso no na nyese wodi pele support na Jeffrey Gabi Mr. Collins so abai donation dia mabuso kan obaye no so no odi dancing yenu ababuso kan ye abuso kan ye ubi da wa donate am association no wa promise abuso kan for say odi kasa ebesa bola eye bola kontina kese no odi two beba abai abuso kan association no
okay
etino ono so ye ni ti e dis awoso. But it's answer communication no anko yeria Graphic and probably say association no education support ma Jeffrey Saki and then kweda.
Okay. Okay story na said the almost publish wa ha and so dia actually say Mr. Saki used the opportunity to visit the leadership of the Tabletop Association, past executive, the Aboso Cancer Dealers Association, opinion leaders and some shops in Aboso Kai. Na Oba Hasia was he appealed to Mr. Saki to use his years of experience in the media to help propagate the good work of the association, talking about a year opinion Oba Bidi a year omoso ewo honom no. Na ode no to nchen so a wachire mu ewa ha say Mr. Ocho on behalf of the leadership commended Mr. Saki for his visit and kind gesture and assure him of the support of the group. And the Ocho say Yura Ochre say on behalf of a Yabusu Cancer Paper Dealers no was share Yura Saki boss say a idea on mobile support no. O pese o kire say eno adwumadia e course so no na no adwumadia course so no. Abusu Cancer Paper Dealers for assure a year Jefferson Saki say a brand so a omo support better na chi as a parliamentary aspirant e wo MPP mu ana.
Mr. Hunto, me no when you ye pa say me bibi wo ha ene kwa me catch row. Ye course na Abuso kan ye course na no 80% ejame no so. Media for ni ben na no e me na me dey mobile. There's no way Chema Oche make that comment no. But Oche e can say Abuso kan is ready to receive anybody. Even though time now Orajo Mahama you winning you know the position is here or your parliament is no. Oche making it clear say you see Orajo Mahama winning no akasa obeko Orajo Mahama akomane congratulating message. Na wa show Orajo Mahama say sisi ano wa ba no 2024 no eja oni MPP so ebehwe ne yibe yinaba. Na as a chairman of my association no then no more my party for it Orajo Mahama dey na banti no oni Orajo Mahama bet na say na what them go so yema Abuso kan for and prepared for fashion why fashion say we fam na dey am na
me to say what dey kasa yeti yeah
it no Oga Henry Ocho na making it clear say is therefore NPP NDC CPP PSD obi of say oye na Mr. Jeffrey no don't forget say oye media person it no we denya on be use some experience bi e dey publicity ama you say Abuso kan is there for Jeffrey Saki.
And the open so say somehow enya dey say chairman eka e ba Jeffrey Saki and asen central for buy no and I say be omo pese omo etutu momone de chairman no say chairman declare support for Jefferson Saki.
Yes, say when it comes to media now, it's the media house be any editorial policy.
Okay.
And into the book ha, my first story we na me fa man day. Na not listeners no me video meti ase. Henry make a comment bia. Henry catch a Jeff say, any they say wetin ya ba abuso kan wa be support wo because of say Henry Jeff ni me I spoke to Jeff me senior way back. Me senior me Jeff very well pa. Me dem din komo e kasa but mama na me man kan say he said the consensus part you be support no and then support no you support good cause but you are making a stance support to be and na Henry so can say association support to be no wa make comment to baby ya media no na communication and call you baby and
today na Aboso Cast Papers Association Dealers Association for more year at the afon because there ya publish e wa ha me interest e wo mini say yenim say 2016 mo kan be na mo sponsor na Nana Danko Kufuado over 200,000 Ghana cedis e no achi makasa bebre anytime be ready budget bia no na mo bo aban etri so it is a you story na say yem finding out na hwe sampa indeed your love for MPP and OBBL campaign on behalf of MPP no supporting but what say enya no kre but dia na mo ankasa mo ye dia fa story wo me hu say indeed Chairman Ochre ankan de biada say omo as Aboso Cast Papers Dealers Association omo do mo support e koma Jefferson Saki.
That's a question of some very important part. The reason why consent papers you don't see what say you really change to association no e yes I should not catch 2016 say bi mu e ko ja side omo support o Nana Kufuado omo support Nana Kufuado na nye Aboso Cast Association e wo hono e ye volunteer for Kufuado 2016 na si on pedu na your chairman on later no be Aboso Cast co-chairman eti no amako lenki ekowura ho eti omate eti na ye pe new person e neutral oh e dey obey fair
okay
eti no sa enti na ye pamu owura so mo ko ye fa enwura but the issue no dey bia na otiji yeso nso Ghana obi animo ejuma pa wa yama Ghana man so we do go meet e be di see so dey won to TV
okay
eti na kunya po dey man krafo kire say ye ma esani me signal ne ko say enye ne kweda no ti bia no video bia no ombongu enye ne kweda ademo graphic ni mu no o kire na dey rejoinder akre en say enye ne kwe
okay Charles
Mr. Collins or down under we are not there for anybody we are there for everybody
okay Charles yenua ye Techi Ado enyumre yada papa enobre
Mr. Dasipa
okay yenua Charles Techi Ado ene ye PR odima concern Aboso Cast Papers Dealers no chese nya no kre se nhyiamudie bia sa akoso ama Aboso Cast Papers Association Dealers Association for the club support the ama yenua Jefferson Saki no one issue now let's move on to another issue. Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia, the Vice President, Enra Osa Aka Assembly, say aban at the textbooks at the break a year for now by the close of this year, not be at me akoso. But over the first time the Vice President Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia make his pledge was a year 2021, and the Vice President Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia and over a year baby a story it was published November 2, 2021. And Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia Ekasimi. It has been published by modernghana.com. We will provide tablet for all SHS students. Bawumia and Dahabo. What kind of story now? Was a Vice President Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia has reiterated government commitment to making education better in the country. Delivering a public lecture on digital economy on Tuesday, November 2 at Ashasi University, Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia said government is set to roll out an initiative that will provide tablets for every senior high school student in the country. Where Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia Samokaye 2021, we didn't see the tablet 2021, 2022, we didn't see any tablet. But enwa Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia asakasa e dia fa tablet. Me pato yentie de Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia e kan enwa e fa the same promises.
Must move forward in the right direction. We must invest in education, which is the only platform for preparing nation builders of tomorrow. The Minister for Education has also assured me that this year we will start the replacement of textbooks with laptops, which are textbooks embedded in senior high schools. So you will have the laptop, you will have all the textbooks embedded with past questions, lesson plans, and all of that to help the teachers and the students. The final year students, unfortunately, you may not be part of it since you are leaving in September. But second years and first years, we will distribute these laptops in batches, and you will be able to benefit, because we want to equalize access across the country. Everybody must have access, and we will save a lot of money, by the way, from the physical textbooks that we are printing. But the Minister for Education assures me that we will be able to start this process before the end of this year. The country must move forward in the right direction. We must invest in education, which is the only platform for preparing nation builders of tomorrow. The Minister for Education has also assured me that this year we will start the replacement of textbooks with laptops, which are textbooks embedded in senior high schools.
Diema eye mobona ya rehone say when Dr. Muhammad Bawumia ka asem wo kan 3 years ago no empenyefo a mote high table no so omunyina Amanyosem e the man forgetting say Dr. Muhammad Bawumia says say aban 2021 November and aban ka so this tablet we ebebre asuafo 2021 no show, 2022 no show, 2023 now saying say by the end of 2023 and omo this tablet we e the ebeba adentikra na aban ha no ho woni ama bebre ho I didn't know my hand as ye can say, Oko basic school. Even textbooks crom the bisfiande. Syllabus no textbooks come this year a bini ho. They don't have it. And the mock and crack mock crom cultural crano. Issues were ho. Oko secondary school ye can feeding about be a problem. Teacher trainee feeding a problem. Nursing trainee alawa issues ho. School feeding program issues so ho educational sector one kwana problems or problems ketwa solving nyina wie, and this is not even part of your manifesto, but you keep promising. Is it by force to say whenever as a leader when your platform now you have to say something and conform some farmer knowing very well say Sadena Beno Krano, Sebi, it no even makes sense to the economic situation that we find ourselves in. Benisi Edi here and Sana Edi Fata, even opportunity cost. Yen choose between school feeding program or a caterers in Wedriane and Tinkodaye Momedriani near BTFE, any tablet, opportunity cost, unwaye economy, more money economy. Between these two year choices and Kadiana Bichusu, tablets are Fina Kofa Diaba. Before without the tablet, no, and crano better no textbook or issue and they said the issue of no. Any school feeding program and yeah bringing it down because the government is unable to pay a school feeding caterers. Anyway, let's move on to another issue. Now, before I make a break, in social media, and I may hear how Ghana for reacted to and someone. Ekoso Amanyosem the Dr. Muhammad Bawumia kan the Nanado kan the Mahama kan some government appointees the kan the individuals kan very interesting. Na additionally woman say e twasa bi ato am say na we a politician na wo kasa hwe kasa mu ye because we ditro na we rebefi, but the social media will never forget, the internet will never forget. They bear remind you intimatu din say political time and season me pacho yenti tiewia empenyufo e ba be dis ankomon.
See toilets, Amamu. Yeah, but see toilets. In all, yeah, but see 8-unit toilets, 4 8-unit toilets, 32 toilets in all.
They take your IC. This government, they put delivery trackers, also toilet. Toilet be district assembly them work. Why national government, they tell people waiting you do, then toilet to be district assembly. That one we know the counter.
Next month, ladies and gentlemen, we are digitizing the school feeding program.
And next month, I will launch. We looked at it last week. It's all set. Next month we will launch a digitized school feeding program. We will know every school in the country every day. If you feed them rice and beans, we will know how many students you have fed. We will know.
We are not at the GPRT. We are not at the GPRT. We have not get directives from our people. We don't work with that so-called GPRT. Listen, tell them that it doesn't take only petrol to run transport. Go and ask the price of a tie. They'll be buying for 70 cedis and 80 cedis. It's not 200 cedis. You see this small car? Ask me how much the last time we bought it. How much was it? Brake fluid that we buy. For it came to 12 cedis. Now it's 35 cedis. I can take you there for you to go and ask. They should start that rubbish. If they are forgetting the basic of economics, it takes energy, population, and transport. And if you are killing one, who carries the two? Go and tell Baumia, if the fundamentals of transport is bad, the economy will expose you. Go and tell him that. They have been exposed. Go and tell Bama, he said if the fundamentals of the economy is bad, the dollar will expose you. Tell him that if the fundamentals of transport is bad, it will expose you.
If you have a leg, the thigh is supposed to be bigger than the calf. If the calf becomes bigger than the thigh, then it means there is sickness in the leg. Because if you are spending most of your money on secondary education and less on tertiary and basic, then there's something wrong with your educational system. And so the government has budgeted 2 billion cedis for free SHS for this academic year. If you have 2 billion more to spend on education, will you spend all of it on free SHS so that even when people can afford to pay, they don't have to pay? Because today there's no system where if my child goes to a public secondary school and I can afford to pay, there's no system for me to pay.
The issue of free education, I don't think it's something that any of us can compromise on, you know, and true. It may be that there have to be changes in the way in which we are administering it. You know, I can't take my child to Achimota or Dogono and then leave him or her and drive away and can Oforiata not pay anything, whilst I can pay for 10 people. We need to,
so why did you implement it then?
We need to question, well, you need to begin to get the data to then be discriminatory in how and who pays and who doesn't pay.
Free senior high school policy is a policy for the development of our country. We're not going back on it. We're not going to have it reviewed. We're going to continue with it. We're going to improve on it. We're going to develop the infrastructure so that we can develop the human capacity of our country. That is the position of the new patriotic party and of its President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. No review today, no review tomorrow, no cancel.
Don't you go to the IMF? Go to the IMF. We will not go to the IMF today. We will not go to IMF tomorrow, and we are not going as long as the NPP remains in power.
And go to IMF. We are not going to go to IMF. But I can tell you, we are not going to the IMF. Whatever we do, we are not. We are a proud nation. We have the resources. We have the capacity. Don't let anybody tell you. Like when Joshua, Caleb, and the 10 others went to spy on the promised land. And only 2 of them came to say that we can do it. And the 10 went around the community murmuring, you can't, da 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 da. We are not people of short sight, you know.
IMF, what are we going to say again? Because the noise we make, going into IMF is just like handing over power to NDC without a contest. And I chew my own words back when I said NBC went to IMF because of mismanagement of the economy. So if MPP is going to IMF, what am I going to say? Any government that goes to IMF has failed. You cannot use the face of those who took us to IMF to break the edge. They don't work.
So made several statements which have either turned out to be untrue or are contradictory. Either way, they have served to undermine the credibility of government and of its economic management team. These include the denial that government will ask for a bailout from the IMF, so one is no longer sure what to believe.
I think it's important to look at it. First of all, how many countries are currently receiving IMF bailout? And why are they doing so? And these are countries that have failed in managing their finances. I think that's how you have to look at it. We went, because the bottom line, we are going to the IMF because we have been reckless. We have been to the point of even what one could allege criminality in some regard. Notice government has been overborrowing from the central bank, and beyond that we are having issues as we speak. This year so far, the CD is the worst performing currency in Africa. This year so far, so really the idea is to see how that can help pop it up. We need the IMF because we have lacked discipline in solving our own issues. But the money from the IMF, I'm not too sure how far that will go in resolving the issues. Because don't forget, 2 years ago, we went to the Eurobond to borrow 1 billion. We still had issues. That by the middle of last year, our currency was competing with the hryvnias. And you know, what is the good news? At what cost? One, they say they will remove all subsidies. Whether the subsidies are targeted at the poor or not, those subsidies are going. IMF are not necessarily interested in economic growth. IMF, their policies have never been to, as it were, help you create jobs. It is to make sure that, look, you can pay your debts, okay? And paying debts doesn't necessarily directly benefit the Ghanaian. Because look, in Argentina, they've stopped them from even, they have to cut down the salaries to what? Doctors and teachers. In June, if you're not careful, what's happening with the doctors? So all these things are tied. Beyond that, what are the other things that they are looking for us to do? They're also saying that there should be, government should do what they call right-sizing. You know, now they use terms. It's really downsizing or just laying people off. But now they say right-sizing because they feel that the size is not right. So lay people off. But clearly, it is not going to happen. Workers are going to suffer, and they're not going to suffer because the IMF says so. Okay. They are going to suffer because we have been reckless in how we spend the money that we've been getting. Right. Because look, bottom line, brother, over the last 6 years alone, revenues from gold.
Professor Kama is a bitch. Medium say Kama is sexy. Where in some who will be a car before. After a few years, this is where we are. Abusia, Yabra studio way. And when you forward video, Yura Kwaku, a do Jamfi, a political analyst, professionally, or a network engineer, or video more. Sounds so. Anna, Yadofo Baku, Jai Hokoye, Yanko Pada, Maradiaba Pekasa, a year chama Laku, a year first MPP Nasara coordinator, and then all video more. Abeja former Majuma Makwaba. Pacha pomi ade.
That you always look good.
Anna.
You.
Me.
Ah.
Oh really?
You always look go good. Collect money from somewhere. Where always, I don't know.
You always look good.
We have to investigate you.
You see, I'm with you are pajama the free throw. You
are becoming a threat.
When you're 200 Ghana cedis, 200. When you're 20 Ghana cedis, Yami.
Can say amen.
Amen.
Obinya why? Ebi a otinu mpo kekepu a wo kasa amanfo hwe wo ye adwuma ma Ghana no.
Pressure industry.
Say country. Adwuma Ghana adwuma na wo ye.
Ewia kusu.
Enye wi.
Ati ewi akosu.
Enu de. Ezi nyame na hwe nipa.
Nyame em ne hwe nipa de.
Ade asay.
Sure.
Obi nim say ade be chi. Mpa bo say nyame man ahoden. Eni ono a.
Ade nya tie so atimi say ni da so ho.
Sa na tie. Yes ade nsa ya.
Ye mo nyame so bo. That's papa.
Number. Ozi give us this day
our daily bread.
Obi akoda.
And forgive us our trespasses.
As we forgive
those who trespass
against us. As we
against
forgive Akufo-Addo.
Okay, Jacob, I'm sure some free one. Ma'am, brief your take on a year Chief Justice nominee, a year vetting the way I will see Ehun and Nyama, and also how visual from Mahama, Dr. Muhammad Bawumia, Nanado, Finance Minister, Gabi Asrochidakon, Minister Sinon Kronoba, the whole show. What's your take?
Sammy? I make sure what you for na match ya me bra pennies. Sammy, there be a mekase. Krum have a problem no leadership. And it's because of the way we choose our leaders. And everything emanates from the Constitution. Because we have an executive president who decides who to choose at every given opportunity or every given time. It's the reason why we have the kind of leaders that we have. Because in my view, in my honest opinion, the nomination of Mrs. Tokunu, right?
Yeah.
For me, is a wrong nomination. I don't doubt her competence. I don't doubt her qualifications. But I doubt her ability to deliver as the next Chief Justice.
Okay.
My reason is that mitieno vetting, particularly on citizenship, the answers that the woman was giving me, na me so me kofa Constitution, I think chapter 6, and
yeah,
I think I read it to you.
Chapter 6, yeah.
Chapter 6 of the Constitution. Now, as a Supreme Court judge, now on to me embata the Constitution, the position of the Constitution on who becomes the citizen of this country. What you are saying? Now, a Supreme Court judge on to me definite answer as to which document makes one a citizen of this country. I have a difficulty to appreciate that person to be the Chief Justice of this country. What do I say?
Okay.
So for me, such positions, I was saying within the judiciary, and I was saying no more competent. What do I say? Nani nim dear or Constitution, it goes beyond partisan observation. What is the
sure.
Because of say Atnas Yakas a Ghana card and non validate to be money citizen of this country per Akufo-Addo Bawumia administration. Even Supreme Court judges are unable to define who a citizen of this country is by law. And if anything is by law, the law is the Constitution. There's no law in this country that surpasses that of the Constitution. Every law emanates from the Constitution. All the CIs, all the constitutional instruments, all the whatever it is, everything emanates from the Constitution. And the position of the Constitution is that once a child is born in this country, that person is a Ghanaian. And once you are born at the hospital...
Our parents, yeah.
Yes, Ghanaians. And the first document, your birth certificate, right from the hospital. It is not passport, it is not Ghana card, but your birth certificate. And when I woman, Yadima is there. My birth certificate is there. No DBS government hospital. That was what was given to me. So on them is if our Supreme Court judges are not able to define who a Ghanaian citizenship is, then I'm sorry. I hope say minority no withdraw from the approval of this particular Chief Justice.
Already, Oma suspended or move voting. Say, as we speak, Supreme Court emphasize or move ruling explanation in by Kwamufa, so they are saying of ruling by.
They
so
should
they are
withdraw,
waiting for them to give
withdraw
the ruling
and allow the MPP to go ahead and appoint them. The next one, Dr. Bawumia. Videos are boy in me phone na me di me say me aso me wo ensembe makomako be 17 promises makomako be 17 na Dr. Bawumia akan wokrum anya Dr. Bawumia no ka say wa arrest CD no key na koma IGP dan pare no and the CD no dollar na enenam sen na CD so enenam sen Dr. Bawumia said before 2018 there won't be any toilet problem in this country. Now, vice president, I would you do be a vice president. Toilet home common kwan. Now, sorry, not toilet. He's a fine gentleman, you know. He's a fine gentleman by personality, but I don't know what is wrong with him. I say anytime you be in a nubia, toilet home common kwan. Nyo mabia abofuno nyo man kwan oka. What would them better me? The vice president has lowered the standard of the office of the vice president. And it hurts me to believe, say, Ghanaians believed this particular gentleman. Emani intimidated Vice President Amisa Atta.
The late
Amisa Atta. Ewo kromha. Eme beji to mu say, Dr. Bawumia is the economic messiah of our generation. His candidature as vice presidential candidate was problematic because within the MPP fraternity now, not MPP, but what I say, and no man caveat, and anyone who ever see on my pempem, that is on record. Obedi vice president and Nanamontua O Tuoninano suggests say he is not in touch with the problems of this country. He doesn't understand the Ghanaian and what the Ghanaian expect from our leaders. Even as the vice president, he's still unable to understand the needs of Ghanaians. At this critical moment, the vice president, tablet. No more fun. We don't even have electricity in our houses. So, akwala or take fanchine bra. A friend is say, Kwaminchi, menai. On the tablet here. Now, you know, even when I open my laptop, senior, I find it difficult. Because it is not even good for a child growing up. Said there be a screen so it will affect his eyes, his or her eye. It will affecting any. And kwala no munyini na omoba no. And yes, there be an nisi computer mu, nisi phone so. No, share your mouth phones. It is a way a penny and watch it on my hand. This is not the way to go. In any case, Vice President Baby Ofria, Obedi Vice President. Send the Chrome on Quality Niasico School. What I say? You call the Chrome CCA, San Quality Niasico School. This particular Vice President, this man, Dr. Bawumia, say yan hwe na yan pe bibi an kan kire no ama na ntena se sabi susumi ma adwene and na one of the reasons ti aye ware no say o yiri betufo mesre Samira Bawumia won fa ne kunu ntena se no ntunufo ne nsam ka bi no enhye dan toto akwan mu papa na ye hwe ne eja na one hwe baba besena kufu ado because it occurred to me say I say ono de eba propaganda when it comes to propaganda Dr. Bawumia has mastered in propaganda ninsema oka nyina ya atron and he doesn't feel remorseful about it every now and then be no sanya confidence sometimes I don't want to be harsh on our leaders but Say what ho. Sise emre yentumi nto fuel. Electricity bill hwe baby enenam. MTN kra network kra nya papa okrum ha. Wo ye ko wo gina so ana akate. We are going through a lot of frustration. We are going through a lot of stress. Then we have a vice president. Ono de odenya anana yire ho ofentina ninsem basabasa sana na. Ame mi jo nka wo yire ho ofen nka wo sori free ketes wo nyansa nkwa na wo tiri. This vice president ninsem kan nye papa.
Okay.
Honto me ra ho. Wo de ma me fancy na.
Jamala kula.
Ni yire ntunofo. Ni yiri ntunofo, honestly speaking.
Okay.
And no be ka kire John Mahama so incompetent.
Yeah.
And you know there, I'm telling him so you're monumental incompetent. Or not incompetent, no monumental sounds also.
Jamala Kulaku, Chief Justice nominee, Nensa Mokai NB, and also Niaboboye from Yungo to IMF, and then what is trending on social media?
Do. Mze mizumechia mibra na machia ozo. Na yachia arefo. Ani adika no machia the incoming president. The incoming ne obe break it no.
Okay. And Wana
Alankojo Chiremati.
Okay.
That is where I belong to.
Oh, okay.
He's a nice gentleman. I don't know where to me break it to a country.
I see.
The chief and I do me chiao. Na machia entire team. Omo mo bomo din na mo buano. Na me ami bra Boniface Abubakar. Any obsi adoye no mo ni slide tete no je say. Solomon Uzomo ye adwuma. Adwuma mo ye ni na no me chia mo na omo nkoso ye adwuma pa na.
Ni Solomon Asante.
Solomon Asante. Omo doso me ntumi mbodi na. Chia me ami nua atulu kususo. Ono so omo nkoso ye adwuma pa. Ndo ye krom a ye friend Ghana. They want sembo no po. Bi bra ka sembi. You see, me betra ha unim say me ye Ghana. Do say me o party am don. But no kra no da ba bia. Just to me the tour. Don't problem I face you Ghana no. Say all the political party and to me and transient change the constitution it will continue. I don't think America say continue because we share from the institutions in now our country ano. It was like allow one more. Say ya titina yenim say you go from the rank. What does it? We call IGP no ranks. Political party beyond embe pejao. Junior staff and a junior rank to a senior. Obi wo wenim. What does it? Enti sade no ababeka. Enu ensu ka ho ya nhwe ni ya enu su ka ho na say your mind ama oman ababe say leadership no because obi obeba bia no oni pa be 5,000 obe employ into all the CEOs all the IGPs and you be sisa wo nia on do so obe di IGP kra no na nia adu ne so no into ama nkofo nso ediaw ewo institution no to say security forces ni we no ebi na si because ohwe judiciary na ya woni power ka adaka the 3 years kra na ya mani ndi adu ni so ana anyesa police service na won go for adu omo so but was na over speed aba be do anim na yakoyi obi it be feel say mami yes excellency na appointing what does here and the ohwe appointment bibri e was Supreme Court now under the leadership of His Excellency the President. But you want nkofo wa outfit almost sefata. Say baby at the level I do or adwuma no it was also Supreme Court there as part of the Supreme Court. Sana akoba police service. All the services. Until this is a dear bakwa a dick community ambo. Because mami ya bisa no questions. Anamboa. Ebia injustice be ko baby. Eno ma bisa no question. Me there me ni eyo me kan no say questions are bia no ya bisa no. It was all to me the answers never. Because me who former Chief Justice ewo nechi
yeah
ani
yes
doche omu na atete nechi and how to say kromo anu ayewo no there were 3 arms of government. Oh, maybe Brano no 3 arms of government. You were executive.
I'm penny.
You were legislature.
I'm not saying
and there were
judiciary.
The legislature, omu no mu chemra no omu camera, and sana judiciary no abe interpreting mra no ana against this. So we omu and they had to ask them the amount of won't say him because almost shemra and our parliament is and you'll be a lawyer. You're professionals, but lawyers do woman kaka. Osho mom bisa questions in lawyers room. Iti omudi bisa. Ye mom my yesu timamufo no e man no. Yesu ye nisua de because unto uko krobia so as mimi nimni de birth certificate no and look at Sumbo because biographic da a birth certificate. I just say, they are a confuse young Timamifone to your man. What I say? Because Mrano de Sia, you can't say, yeah, Brano de a 2 months, Dachi Maba, Abetuaso. A 2 minutes, I said to me, Yemrani, Senebea, Yemrano, so I was Zongo, any baby Bibrino, you better cut down. I got trouble, Mrano. Or your mamma minimum to an air of marketing. Who show more to Obama politicians no? 80% said you and 70% your more omunku school papa bia obetumi a kire wo mo. Nti no man no ogbiso be say inflation say dey any inflation. So making impact e wo man mo tuan dues, so tuan taxes. But why and explain access anko for no what is GDP and how we bebre bisa. But when the time comes, omu tiasi no omu tini omanasi. Enye madaroma, ena mudi 3 programs aba. Kanene ne ntisa. Intiama ye ma minumu ni enu anu omu tizongo bi tini omabiasi. Inti nukwa onyame enim de. They should let us know. It is say empathy for. Let's come together as a country. Because minua, kromwa bebi aye do sisi anu. I'm telling you, say, me nip kobi a wiase anyankopo ahire si Ghana. I can't
recall.
The world, the country that are blessed more than Ghana.
No.
I meet a friend, a Dubai friend, Arab. I see Ghana is the second Dubai. And you tisikaso, tikali you tusubi wa kuma pa. I said I mean you can. Oh, it's about leadership. Because you don't, you share, say, you come for tariji kwa, nyoma baby oh, ewo form. Say na kupa shiro mine any nyoma you share America resources won America kura ni bi. Even Gaddafi chrome kwa apart for here kaka won no hwe say na sit to me here the chrome. Na hwe Dubai. Pese me kuminya and am I be do baby I do no. Because your national anthem no bakuna kan pese me kuminya wo enti omo mu hihye saa no net obeka so omu nim because menua me do ko to baby a o say one opportunity but you don't think of the masses and every leader too you must fight for your people not for yourself. What I say because penny bia uti ono ye penny ofi wo yere ne ma me bra so sa. It better depend the way you rule your house, the way you control fee, how you share ma, a costume. Because that be how you are. You wouldn't qua. Now me baby sao. Ma yiri any ma. How did you rule your family? And then tell me, adia nyankupo maye wo Ghana. Tell me, adia nyami maye bi wo Ghana. Senka. Yetumi manage e no man yetumi si agudi ni ye de be di o man no so ene upa man fa Ghana en sha America sa 5 years e dia ma America 5 years enye maybe be o mo fast ka bi am free baby mbo but ye kro mu an ya sika e wa ha no eno be turning around e dia bo o man no Because
Russia, mom.
Okay. Now be kabi out there yen fama amanoni abrofui. And then uhwe your school sema e course no. Minua e fantastic say you were free SHS. But me no kasa no. Free SHS no me manu kobi. Wow, fantastic. You di buy and e but the implementation no e bibia e ha wofo. Oh, how wofo. It is a wofo no e find it difficult because akwala ni bebe fie obeko obesa to nuane ni nyoma ama no. What I say fantastic. But ene obi ase obekasa. I'm telling you.
Review means cancellation.
No,
and we are not ready to cancel free SHS.
No, review means it was said translation. Because in every institution and every year oh yeah biano, who started say oh yeah, and then you find a lot of problems. What I say, and this is a penny for not translate who problems are. Have free SHS because and let me know Kazano, maybe I am man who goes to your copy here. Yeah, to more. School me ba no kono ye 500 cedi 500 cedi say person kwala ni diduane pa. We pay. Even na say ko PTA school ba ko me mbodin wa ha. E ko PTA. Kwala no ko cho wase. Enche bia. Na see books any a year omudi be ye dey. Omudi be ye mock. This year yes
printing.
A print. This year mask akra na ye. Me no ka say
private school or government?
A government school. Maybe mienu. I know my free SHS. Yes, my party have done fantastic work to introduce free SHS, but the implementation, me. Not to me now. I catch you say, me baba kun adam fukra me na me hwelo because of it tapanwa. We hear the bagodo godo godo. In your metoma me babiano, it told me man. And no na me bra penny, can ufurata be kasaye. And yamina make. Can ufurata kasa.
Okay. Now another issue be our hasi we ebe to mu na yen pay attention kakra. We from the Electoral Commission. Na memorandum from Director Human Resources, the head office and regional directors. Ya send their common subject a submission of curriculum vitae, just CV Fabra, and a date, that was yesterday, 29th May. Now, YTBB, I was raising concern and for and I think we should pay attention to this and ask some few questions. I bring you greetings from the corporate head office of the Commission. This comes to inform you that the office of the President, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has requested for the curriculum vitae of senior management of state agencies from director and above. You are therefore requested to submit your CV by noon today, 29th May 2023, through echrdirectory@gmail.com for attention of the Commission. The one can say President Nana Akufo-Addo Atwerɛkrata ahyɛ sɛ Electoral Commission directors wɔn nyinaa obiara mfa ne CV aba no ɛpɛ ne CV ɛde aba HR na yɛhwie adwen kakra ne sɛ yɛsɛ Electoral Commission yɛ autonomous body wɔn de wɔn ho so nti wɔn ano yɛ commissioners na wɔn mpanin abɛwɔ appoint wɔn na directors ne saa nkorɔfo no nyinaa Electoral Commission na appoint wɔn and if they have any CV to give they give it to the Commission. President business ne saying and our request for a directors of Electoral Commission on CVs. Now, we nama Professor Ransford Jampo Atro BB about 3 hours ago. Now the can was say, Dear President Akufo-Addo, why do you want to do this to an independent commission? It appears under your tenure, you are doing everything you can to decimate the independence of all tenure. The independent of all independent institutions, but to what end? The history of Ghana's Fourth Republic showed that you are currently the worst president in promoting the sanctity of the independence of the Electoral Commission. Unfortunately, there aren't courageous people around you to tell you to back off your attempt to annexing the Electoral Commission. Back in the days, Dan Botwe, as General Secretary of the MPP, could boldly tell President Kufuor in the face to back off his attempt to accept the procurement powers of the Electoral Commission, and the President had no choice than to listen. Please leave office and leave the sanctity of our independent institution intact. This is not a practice worth emulating or repeating. Say, this demand is unnecessary and its optics for the quest to deal with the independence deficit of the Electoral Commission are bad. But the Electoral Commission too must not be seen to be swallowing anything thrown to them by the President hook, line and sinker. As an independent commission, it is backed by the law to resist any attempt at subjugating the commission under the executive president. As Dr. Bosman, where Dr. Ransford Jampo, Professor Ransford Jampo, and this Diaba. So question is say, Omampeni Epe, directors of the Electoral Commission, district, regional, Neon Konomba, CV for what? This is the first time. Because some Electoral Commission in our appoint to more president, or my appointment is not coming from the president. So we see the Omampeni Epe way. Yera, Kwaku. Ehwehwe asokakra said ehwehwe Professor Ransford Jampo asoni Ghana for be as Omampeni demanded this.
Sammy, I've always said our president is a dictator. President Akufo-Addo is a dictator. And I repeat, President Akufo-Addo is a dictator. Article 46 of the 1992 Constitution, and I quote, except as provided in this Constitution or in any other law not inconsistent with this Constitution, in the performance of its function, the Electoral Commission shall not be subject to the direction or control of any persons or authority. This is the position of the Constitution. And I always say that President Akufo-Addo do the things now, and then because law school knows what I say, one call law school. President Akufo-Addo one call law school. In the Constitution, we read here on Tiasie. And now, Ghana mamrano so onye na dwen se ode beye adwuma. Honto wo tiasem na meka. Ghana mamrano. President Akufo-Addo nye na dwen se ode amamrano beye adwuma. Because say we president why you dwen se ode amamra beye adwuma. This is the position of the 1992 Constitution that gives you the powers as the president of this republic. Said the Electoral Commission must not be subject under the control or authority of anybody. And this is a man that carries himself as a lawyer. So if you are a lawyer and this provision in the Constitution you cannot read to understand and implement as a president, then I have difficulty to appreciate the competence and qualification of President Akufo-Addo. I have always said that he was packaged to Ghanaians, and Ghanaians gullibly accepted him, and that is why we are where we are today. The man we refer to as the president of this country is not who he claims to be. Because if I'm to go by this statement, a dear president a CV of a commission set out by the Constitution as an independent body that is not subject to any control or authority. When you criticize the Constitution, people refuse to acknowledge, say, you have the right to criticize this constitution. But most of the problems is because of this same constitution. The constitution gives too much powers to the president to behave and misbehave. This constitution, it gives too much power to the president to behave and misbehave. And this is one of the misbehavior. Unfortunately, Onya Kukudra no they criticizing the predecessors. In reference to the positions of the constitution. And now no be a president want to mean for constitution no can criticizing. Because he is refusing to acknowledge the very document that gives him the powers, the executive powers that he holds. This is the worst president that we've ever had. Very arrogant, power drunk, a tyrant, a dictator.
But don't you also think that the Electoral Commission is also weak? The leadership.
What is the Electoral Commission?
So they are not aware of the powers constitution.
Who is the commissioner of the? Who is the chair? Who appointed James?
Akufo-Addo.
So what are you talking about?
But what point you have the control. These directors are not appointed by the president. It's the commission that appointed Sanema. The Electoral Commission have the power to.
Our problem is that the constitution has given too much powers to the president to behave and misbehave. And in these circumstances, the president has chosen to misbehave. For the past 7 years, Akufo-Addo has been misbehaving. And we don't have men to talk it. We don't have men to express it. That is why we are where we are. And untina, one breath, you call IMF, another breath, you call IMF, one breath, this, another. You see, the inconsistencies in this administration, the inconsistencies within the leadership of this administration is unbearable. We cannot bear it any longer. Yet, Musemu kofa gold for fuel. And they are better fuel so that move for better. And it was being propagated by Bawumia, this same Bawumia guy that I've been talking about. What you say? So if we tiomam na yenyina ya ji atum say ye de constitution be ya adwuma na ye de aboman no ho bra ye de constitution na betu anamon na ye de aboman no ho bra na dikani na odi animu no dikanfo na odi animu no abra ni abra no nyina no ono no constitution no onfa mu asem onye hwe. Every state institution ewo krom ha President Akufo-Addo edenensa koka. Listen, let me make reference to this. Abra Obama ba krom ha no okande ba ko bi. What we need is that we should build our institutions.
Strong institutions.
Strong institutions.
And not strong men.
And not strong men. Unfortunately, 7 years of President Akufo-Addo administration will destroy all the institutions in this country, including even Ghana Education Service. Because the traffic light in the school. Red so no be caught. No be abefie, na green aso no be ko no be abefie, and this is his greatest achievement, the traffic light system of education. The traffic light system of education. And no na ye President Akufo-Addo eye ne fe no de ho na ho wo gina platform bia so a na wo share the rate at which our free SHS A2 no ho a. You know why? It's because Ghanaians are cheap. We are cheap. That's why we have that kind of leader. Because a country, citizens, who are not able to stand to express the stress and the frustrations that they are going through. Obi a trying say the friend is 2024 beba no be kwakotwa. What I say? But that should not be the norm. What should be the norm is that men They said the professor.
For example.
No. Presbyterian,
Professor Marty.
Professor Marty. He asked a very reasonable question. Ewo, oman peni bi abreso. Osi enyansafo no way. Enyansafo no. Omo way. Today I want to take the position of Professor Marty. And then I want to ask. Enyansafo na wo Ghana no. Where are they? Omo way. Those that were criticizing Mahama, even including President Mahama, people were criticizing it. People were criticizing his movement. So, function or you have people who criticize him.
Okay.
You have people who criticize him. Unfortunately, we are in a different era, a complete. Just say, Sisi Ghana, Adane. Dubai, we don't have to criticize President Akufo-Addo. And that is why, and no to say, he will violate the constitution. President Akufo-Addo will violate the constitution just to achieve his own personal interest, just to build his family and friends. And we still continue to sit in this country. We have the academia, professors with degrees in this country, quiet. Everybody is quiet. There's nobody in this country who can speak about the attitude of this president. Then I'm sorry.
Tamalakulaku.
Eddie. Sometimes when the MPP communicate, sometimes Omunyam cry Eddie.
Sure. What kind of production? Because Bradley Breno. Me say, minimum MPP communicator or buy any makeup or tia kunyamu said ye sister tia kunyamu. And I'm sure me editorial say. We read editorial na no. When you emergency. The Cameroon seminar. We don't want to cry and be our first 30 minutes. I go and see a topic.
And when I make you move me a bomb, you can't go. I see. You can't go. I am a party. But me to be better national television. That question is bano. Me knew be the kai. Me knew be the plan. Me knew document be the better. Me knew document be a better so they are better. And they are defending. Nti asema ya kanu. Se me tie ni ya. Se me tumi metra. Na me beka ni amenim na me nam kwanso na obi hu se papa na okono twantro. Ebe ka me ba. Me mako school na the classmate no ehwe papa twantro pa. Ni do antitimisa. Me papa antitimisa. Because me know I believe say sika de ye be waja. You be pay it mean this catchy. I mean, what me a cremoni mapa. Because we no atemuda or atemuda and square trail. And no, a year who gave no more crown and be chance and say bizarre questions. When I got to the Kokazi, me, a new dear. Yamin I have a sudi abe do same. Yamin be have a suko pimtama or no abe frame. And to me better national television so now I dear mean him, na me see me name. Do na me bisa se me kai say Professor Men's time no that yeah review of the constitution and I was happy. If your man pay you cry about the so e be bisa no so ni input and I know sir your ko bia so ko bisa input e dey na si kwan a constitution yet to me and review constitution in Sisano Mabio because nyamu ka say o man pay Obama kai no me the minim said titilo institution here very powerful. I know this even in internal revenue, every institution you will penny go according to pension.
Yeah.
In the do ways no pension. Uno me do so a way this will be a wafa omumubi na ya jump to another person. So what are we wasting time for? A do me to say stop. say government be aba obe appointing the IGP obe appointing the electoral commission obe appointing the judge obe appointing the Supreme Court at do time and just say stop that at do time because institution is strong no mu yom adwuma abayaba also abanu be making sure so you check them obi ya there to say prosecution chino ayebe cho they are prosecute they are doing their job because government your politicians there yebeko anambwa but civil servant they are still there and then you say you criticizing politicians about corruption the civil servants are more corrupt than the politicians and I don't even know
but my question is we have electoral commissioner president appointing known party members Edoma conducted previous election. They see in a year. Since 1992, and call election Magana Fumui said 2020 election. And watch national security for Kokoye survey. Almost have been on the bar and say Ghana for any GDA or electoral commission. Now a threat to our national security. So the government should work on it. To add insult to our injury. Then the president has appointed additional known MPP communicators to the commission. Now the president is usurping the powers of the electoral commission, demanding something that is none of his business. Say and the director is will be on the CV mra, o CV in the bachelor baby out free, baby out school non cronaba. Very good. And signal bank and I send the ama free, fair, transparent election are here expecting in 2024 election.
That is what I'm saying, sir. Did you say before you presented your CV?
Sure.
So who could be the
HR
or details be so me be say omo call na electoral commission omo call they didn't form CV now.
Good question.
That is the question. There's a you would have CV and in electoral commission there are more serious workers. Yes, or more. Do you say, yeah, Pennyform, director of operations, and electoral commissioner, and only the deputies, but there are workers there who have been working. Omutamu Suya, Omudibeko, Aunjibu, and now electoral commission is Obu Aya Jumache. In the Unyase Kaube appointed next electoral commission. Share commission, Ubenyo Bia, what Jumana, Udi electoral commission, mana. Obetuma there aye adwuma ni when mu na e ka review one twa say ye hwe da chi bia ye to be here because ye man ye pani afrejan obi anim ni political affiliation and I don't
no
but your elections be 2 and your election 4 the fund is 1 term 2 term 3 term 4 term or your omanpeni role is not 2 terms. And no, you're my penny for the 2 terms. And I'm one. And also, I
think 96.
Oh, yeah, 92.
There is no 92. Oh, yeah, 96.
96.
2000. 2004. 2008.
Wow.
And Charlotte said,
2000.
No, on a year 2012 elections or so.
Oh, no, 2000.
And to 96, 2000, 2004, 2008, 2012.
And Charlotte Mayor 2000.
Oh yeah, elections Maku 6.
Thank you. On also you need say o man penny adam for any co schools or the classmates or any co dormants you say. But ube bisa on say e do baby a chance of man you to me manage na na so. Because Miriam say penny for say president numuni omusaso no na e say omu wipe apple. It's a young generation na ya ba no so no. Who the way a di me na e calling you my ye no. Say ya hwe ni ya that be no ebe ha o man no. Me ma example. And then unto share your political system no. Unto o constituency no we fantastic. I'll be any move say who dey buy the trauma. But who need $2 million and $2 million Ghana cedis, you can't contest an election. So now, if you share your parliamentarians, no, maybe I hear cause say no, you share na and can you na share na and fight round 2 here. A bedroom no, your parliamentarians no, be drug barons, armed robbers, Adi aze. Eyi edi na meka fraudless. Omo mo fraudulous ene be ko go. Cause say ago eska. Itu ni saska no. Ni owo ska no be ba no. Ye to aba na o ska na obe wini. Because ye Ghanaian omo to aba ye timamfo ye to aba no. Obi onzu still anu ye call for grassroots no bebre adwin sisa say me diska no. Ba me to atia no. Bebre adwin ba so. Officer me nya ska ni bi ndi. Nti so abeto Milan mu dia. O 100 meji. Oji a osoro say ye diska na akobusu so ansa na bi ma no to be kwa akoto. Ite bedu mebu no. O man na kasa no say na be si akoye nim no. Obo so na bibia asai. Yeah. And na ye generation we zo no uhwe ye timamfo ye youth no mo ba no. Omo ye wild esi ye time. Because of the computer no. What does it? System no go mu no. Ye youth no mo ba se no. Omo ye too wild. Esi ye time no. Yes so aye ba no. Ko ye time aye politics no. E too much e dey. But I say obi a person obey politics because it's easy way to make money. He doesn't care. Because look, you share you. Obia ya ba na e ba no. Obia won bro no so. Obia ni mo bia. Ya nim ka onto uyusu ansana o party ne ba power yeah. It position obenya ani adan obeto ani cars obeto no. Obia ehu yi. It obi ordinano. And because hey, it ya to aba no say you understand me? Ordinano anu we didi chini ni makono so edi we chia. Anu na kaza abrabo ahia se ni ntise ewiye. Because you said something. There is something called karma. That is a spiritual law. Karma is a spiritual law. Emma wu. Ebenyam e wa asase so. Nti bi sey empany for. Ye do man na hye yensa se edi o man mu. Nti wa onim se wanya sika to enye kwampa so no. Nyakopo de wo hu. Enye se e betra. E o man na esum. You hwe majority of o man na nipa o me de omu bre. What does it? Minim se onto utia no nkofo mu hwe o obi anu se wo de be out TV so kasanti enwo ato omo mu fro e request se send momo e doso sa na mi plan so ama for fro se won hu TV so se won adu ko ye kwa onto no be ma e be 1 million bi dia share kutuku ntu be du ope na obi aselu na ma na hu se ni bibi but e ba e o man no aduma na ye misu mi tumi betra eba beka sabebre because yes I am a party and I mean to me cause a party in Zuba banu o ma nya hwe anamba but utumi ye adwuma I say prayer ade kitua bi ebe se wa adwuma what does it okay ababia ni oba ya obeka se onya hwe ya bi o ma pani ya bi but there are certain things I can say o ma pani fa ni nancy form anamba okay na hwe I mean, promise now. I mean, kind message Kakrania to us was say good evening to you, brother Sami. I say, in fact, this woman is not qualified to be a chief justice. In fact, not qualified to do law. How can she say birth certificate does not make one a citizen? Is she a Ghanaian? This is Charles from Takoradi, Nidieni. Computer for each child. Textbook were not provided for several years. How possible can this be? This man is really a joke. Comedian for the moment. Barbara at the Christian Village, no, they are good evening. I don't know what is wrong with this MPP government. Mr. Sami, you must know that the vice president is not consistent, so we mustn't take him serious at all in any messages he talks about. Yenuya Mubarak at the Fitakrade no diaba. Efo Hunto, I live at Adenta Pantan. I still need your number so that I can give you an information. I am still, Togbi me pacho, or WhatsApp them, you show so Facebook. Or Facebook, I'll go to Facebook. Let's search Honto TV GH, and send me message via a Facebook Messenger, and I'll get it. Then I'll link you up from there. Radio Day Abba or say, good evening. I thought could have arrested the city and turned the economy by now with all his braggings. Where's the low Honto? Ghana has sunk so low because we have the president, his vice president, and the finance minister who have no credibility and deeply involved in lies and massive corruption. Musa A. Tamalino Diabre. Good evening. Keep it up. Keep it up the good job. Your fairness and objective judgment is
issues. Yeah, that's it. We say, hi, Hunter. No wonder we have our president as mother serpent of corruption. He's in companionship with the thieves like Onofuriata, Baumia, Fred Blay, Kweku, Ajiman, Menu, La Bianca, and a host of them. Salaam alaikum. The victory of NDC and John Mahama is coming again. Nobody can stop it. I swear to God. Eyezu, Eyeza, Isa, Edifin, Saumzongo, no their brain. Hunter, all these hulabalu about this certificate issues is just one stupid fool whose aim is to be president at all costs. Agbeku, Edifri, Accra, Newtown, Dini. Good evening, Hunter, and good evening to your panelists. I said this particular VIP is not serious. Where is the economic management team that he led, that he leads? Vice, VIP Baumia must not be elected. God save Ghana. Ajawu sufisi no dia, Ajawu suyete unkachapa. Good evening, Igbe Mafia. In fact, in all my life since I was born, I have never ever seen a vice president like comedian Baumia. Baumia is just a comedian and nothing more. Baumia knew nothing. Baumia is just a useless. Carlos Ofoyi, Manuel, in the Maniaba. You can't call your vice president on national television so useless. No. I beg to differ. Please, next time I hear a message in here. Good evening, bro. Samuel, since Baumia has no hair on his head, he has nothing to offer Ghana. Lies upon lies all the time. I wouldn't talk much tonight. Baumia is a Sakura man, period. From KD of Anchor Barrier. Good evening, Hunter. We're supposed to catch Baumia and whip him with Sharia law. 100 lashes, cause he always lie. Hello, this is Josephine speaking from Pokwase. I said this government has really increased the depression level in the country for real. I sometimes blame the citizens of this country too. They are depending solely on the government and are not doing the right thing. We say, Mr. Hunter, this MPP man must be given an award. He will carry the day, trust me. We say, good evening to you, Aigbe Mafia. In fact, the apex court of the land has become an international ridicule. They have destroyed the core values and gas lost citizens' interest and has lost citizens' interest. Unanimous judges, I'm Commissioner, the General, Nodi Abrey. Please, I'm not here for politics, and besides, I don't belong to any political party, but my question is about the phone issues. Please, can you ask him for me and let him make things clear to us that if none of the children or relative children don't use a tablet or phone. Also, good evening to you, Sami. In fact, watching the previous videos of Nanado, Baumia, and other MPP members tells me that nothing convicts a man more than his own words. Nanado and MPP members should be praying for forgiveness from God and apologizing to Ghanaians. From Amamura Peter, Edifi, Sunyani New Domano, they are praying. Master, good evening. In fact, my word, I left for school 3 weeks ago, and she called me today that they are vacating on Friday. Master, I just prepared for this girl to go, and for her to coming back in less than a month. It's hard to bear. I say, what at all is happening in this country? Home sweet home to Obefienche. Hunter, it is only in Ghana that liars like President Akufo-Addo, his Vice President Ken Oforiatta, and the Communication Director of MPP Richard Ahinyagba can still be doing propaganda after they have consciously lied to land the country into the arms of the IMF. They swore never to go there. Musa A. Tamalinode Efraba. Good evening, Mr. Hunter, and your panels. I have been watching you always whenever I'm home, and I urge you on with the good work for Mother Ghana. In fact, I must commend your panel for just speaking to issues just as it is and not defending parties. God bless you and Mother Ghana. Good evening. When lies entered into your DNA, even when you're lying, it's like you are telling the truth. That's how our Vice President has become. You know about Solomon, also from Sweden, about saying, in fact, Laku Laku has just made my day. And I really like him so much. Solomon, again, from Sweden, their brain. Good evening, Sammy. I don't understand why the finance minister is still in the office by now. Cry. We say, hi, bro. This Ghana is now an useless country because of vampire leaders. We are seriously tired of Ghanaian politicians. May hell lose upon them. Thanks all of your job. Okay. Thanks a lot for your job. And they Abba. We do say, good evening, Sammy. My name is Mensa Kamasa from Nsawama Dwajiri. Was it this Galamsey corrupt mafia led by Akufo-Addo want to kick out EC directors who are not their party boys but want to serve the interests of Ghana? Until it is time we translate the supreme law in the local language too, so we don't get confused with the English language. Laku and they also would. Well, say, please, I'm not here for politics, and besides, okay, I can't message with that. Please, can you give me my number to the brother, the one with Fugu? Please, I need his help. Please, my name is Austin Jesse. Please, I'm an orphan, and obisoso ede Abba. I say, also open number. I say, need Austin Jesse, say upon number into a number. I know they are told it. Fuguman, it's for you. Now, well, until we 10 for you, 5 minutes. This IMF, the IMF New Year, and then said before IMF near debt exchange program. So, a few money electricity, water bill, dear. You better 2 million home crown ba. A GVA no now yate say agreement na ye kwa ebi ni simple ye ba lay workers off. And no enan chance so I was say aban ye ka ye de it might be China say ye they will have access to our mineral funds and also electricity kwa ebi twa home crown ba. It seems like a signing deal ni we na de chia de say bia no yet new conditionalities are known to Ghana for proud to a year the IMF bailout. Bailout way in whose interest and ebe serve the good people of Ghana or whose interest?
Sammy, before answering the IMF, there were a lot of inconsistencies. Now, Abainan Kasa onim position a wujina ansana otuana mo ako IMF. In fact, Finance Minister Debetu just said we are a sovereign state. We will not go to IMF today. We will not go to IMF today. Adechenya, an information minister, and so say per the instructions from the president, government of Ghana, echo IMF. Thereafter, no. I had the Ghana government to secure an IMF program. Internet was said an amuntu bi koso or China, a bi koso or ye external ye saying creditors. Now omu bem and sana IMF etimi ayeden ama yen bailout no. I think say the decision to go to IMF was a desperate one. This government was desperate. The finance minister was desperate. The economy was desperate. The president was desperate. Now, I want to say, when you are desperate, the condition to anymore, you don't actually go deep. Say, overshare critically. Actually, say, some conditions where I'm a mameno. Meet me and I say mean to me. Now, the woman say, not Ghana drum pempensu be say conditions no madi amaye yen to me kra na we cannot go back. Same uti en komona me no. Conditions na IMF de maye. Even though say yen to me no, we still cannot go back home.
We have to go for it.
Because I say wako baby on say wako akosra obi. What I say? Now ko wan ko to nipa no. Unso ni ska de be fa ka akufi. Into bed. So bad that train. Say na nkwankwa nua bi ase na obenya se Valanda so na obenya. No wada ho no atwen.
Na kom sa ade wo.
Akom sa ado. Awo besen ado.
So ko begi.
Wa hwe ade ba chikura na ni mu oni achu no owu. It na Ghana do very critical stage because omare nam na manaka dompe. Omare nam no amanaka dompe. Sa na kojo opon kroma ka kire John Mahama. Ana ba umia so kan bi. Say over expenditure was a reckless borrowing.
That was the word.
Reckless borrowing. And the man NDC. Edo mo ho kodom IMF. Ama ye kekan ya me nipa binim te sa abronye. Abetena TV so be kan say wokọ IMF na chese okeka kire IMF say minim nyansa. A me de bebu oman no. Enti IMF fuwe mo meje Ghana na mumbu mame. Enti say NA Canada Japan say NDC ede Ghana call IMF no or criticize NDC aban no. So man mismanage economy no or more disca no basa. Enti say ne party so call IMF a. Ede ankomo no obedie. So okona Ghana fo busa na ede anu yie e no obeyi.
No yie bia.
Oni anu yie bi obeyi. Osan si su dua say San kofo ya omode yakọ IMF ye de omudi anim se omunko break 8 na enye ye baumi aka ho bi baumi a ona di anim aka ho bi ti ana nwanwa se MPP fo a omo wa aban mu sisie no omo ye baumi a wodium na me meti ase same ahokyera ba enipa no president Akufo-Addo na ama na appointment se wan ko di baumi achi na okodi Alan achi na o kyerɛ na adwuma bɔ na no ye ndɛ ye de bia ye hopes na doye. What I say? Oko declare the support ma Alan. Adeche yan an termination letter by. That is how vindictive this government is. What I say? That is how dangerous this government is. This is how intimidating this government is. Enti ya drum pempen so bia ya chechire yensa agu yachi. IMF achechire yensa agu yachi. Ena IMF ne China aka bom. And no person mo finance akwan bi so because of say your leaders ni ye greedy. The kind of leaders we have, very greedy, led by Akufo-Addo. Na kamide minimi papa panimu a Ghana hye animonyam sei. What I say? Wa bo bra nyina wie. Ansa na president Akufo-Addo eba be di president no. Mintena ha nkasa. No oye one of the people a enkamiboni din ankame sorry. No when munyam not knowing say sikana obo ne papa or the nyina politics amanasa nti dia ka ne say abusuafo ne be pekwan bi on be fa so a omo beba na omo be dada Ghanafo na omo ba ye PBS ho nsensem what you say galamse yesi ni dan achi pe okoche bi a yetu what would dem be say me chon scandals upon scandals all because I don't know where, okay, all the monies that IMF has been giving, all the money World Bank gave, all the e-levies we've been paying, all the COVID levies will be, where is the money? That's the question that I want to ask. Where is the money? Baby, a Royal Chapel on your floor saying, Anna Mire Finidi.
Oh, Obechebi.
Obechebi, only say over a flyover, only a jay.
Yeah.
Because there's no money.
There's no money.
Uh-huh.
But the truth of the matter is, I interchange, Mahama secure funded before leaving.
They've squandered the money. Palace Mall.
Yeah.
The Omoye to connect. Say Akaho.
Sure.
Contractors are no more there working.
They are working.
They are working. I stand to be corrected.
Yeah, I passed there.
But the pace of work.
Offer a year la beach road.
Yeah.
A kwana no more ye no. Enkoso biem.
Na
contractors
chief. Say yeah kwan. Na be kwana say enipa 3-4 ejina site. And they say a camouflage. It's a camouflage. The contractor must go there with his equipment and be seen to be doing the work.
Okay, 1 minute.
That means 1 minute in America. No. Awoshi abrekuma pokuasi lane no. Kwana Professor Messi yeah na connected to pokuasi interchange no. There be ame betena ha meka. Same street light e wo kwan no so nyina edundum e kwan no mfimfini nyina fu up till now you're not contractor na hand over just this year ya na contractor na hand over e kwan no I don't know who is responsible for that road e kwan ni mu afu street light ni nyina dundum and yet nobody. Meanwhile, the taxpayers' money goes into somebody's pocket to make sure some of these things are done. It will more the Ghana show Monsano. Or more here. I will make Accra the cleanest city. Another 419 propaganda being spearheaded by Bawumia and President Akufo-Addo. And then Accra is one of the darkest cities in the world.
Okay. Macha malakula kusuntine de na ye fi en wrap up. IMF conditionality IMF ye kotobe kumba ebeboa ye.
Mem say nyame bia ka no. Who say ye mpani fo abo hwe ye no. Eto ase Kabadista deputy minister bi netia. Na minister bi netia. Ana director of what netia. Inti mi laku ba betna and then I expect to say better.
Save them.
Because
this man is too honest though.
Save them.
If you say me bear him. Me do him. Enough for him. Omo mu dini kesi mu talk kan kwe when is the last time what me anya minister and deputy minister do
they won't come.
And I do wait. It me say a penny for. Me say a penny for. O man no bre. A GT o man woman yen say MPP ni party I bet me a more man I crab. But pesemin kuminya because Sebio president to any papa. President no is one person. The vice president is one person. And a president needing to me no amanipa bebre. And then, I am a person. Can you say IMF if we manage well? Because you share about our government enlargement, you know. What they are saying, we need to cut a lot of comfort. Now, and they say, let's do it for Ghanaians to see. Say, you are cutting ministries, you know, at the above form. There are certain positions now. Because and then ministry politician member obeko but the director no on the other so until say obeko pension it is a minister we kwa or minister for but director no so and a juma no so what ministries no more no a director no and a senior na so but minister there you are there to supervise now who go transit who to kwaya only director no so na eko nti yan to be in ministry miensa and money baba komo and control o ye man nipa no uba no ye ni awu yuso and they am land cruiser uzi land cruiser kwa fata wasa akoto lexus
no police
nipa hwe omo mo de tumi ni man no eni mo bia properties because baby awakoto asase no cantonment laboni no nipa na ye adwuma ho ontumi fancy yadi kohe because Bible now can our 1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 7 or see for we bring nothing into this world ya fashion ko munka hu owo susu ya dia en kraw en eba etaso hu se Yakupon de tumi no man no Yakupon no so de besa boy ate because ya nya ni yese na ye pa ka hu se umfa hundi obi nim kwa obi afa ne sika but o man no and here because we need to be a generational thinkers because kanenwa na nkuma ho nkuma ye nyoma bebre o mnim say that be no population no ebe expanding into your animal reserve ampansu ene population no are expanding nipa no ebe ka o man yetimu say no etase ka obi a ontumi to no it makes me penny for ɛnyɛ sɛ lakulaku mi bɛtena ha na mi kitizaadi ɛyɛ de ɛnyɛ de a ɛnɛ yɛ big men yɛ ministers ne yɛ deputy ministers anan kɔ ɔmo kɔ radio so kɔ kasa no ɛnɛ kɔ radio stations afana nnaa no uhu ɔmo sometimes before ɔmo bɛba no ɔmo na ɔmo fɛ producers no ɛsɛti ni ɔmo bɛka ama ɔmo ɛnyɛ producers ne bɛsa iti journalists ne fɔ no bi nso a ɔmo bɛboa no mo so sikadie adeɛ a wɔbɛka no kura ama ɔman no akɔ n'anim no because wagye kakra nti na wapɔ ahyɛ you see ɔman no yɛn na ɛbɛkɔ mi bisa mi sɛ beebi a mɛduru ni kura no aka mi na asɛ ne sɛ wɔ wiase.
nyame n'anim.
nti mɛsirɛ yɛ mpanyinfoɔ yɛsum ɔman no a yɛsum ɔman no yie na o piri sika no bebree a sika no nwu fa nkɔ kawo sɛ o gyi numi nso a o gyi numi no agya nkyire ma na sɔfiri no ɔmo na. Aketua no bɛba abɛyɛ because the karma we are talking about is not anywhere Quran aka Bible n'aka woyɛ papa a nyame akyerɛ wo baabi a wode bɛkɔ woyɛ bɔne a nyame akyerɛ wo baabi a wode bɛkɔ ɛnɛ hwɛ baabi a yɛduru sika a yɛatumi asɛe yɛasa kɔ IMF na wɔne bɛbɔ ɔbu so a ɔma rules obi bɔ ɔbu so a because of ɔyɛ nti ɔbɛma rules ansa na wote ase ansa na ɔbɛsae ɔse gyikɔ ɛnɛ nso hwɛ a yɛ galamsey side yɛasɛne o nso yɛato galamsey fiti adame mmerɛ so but ɛdu yɛ so no hwɛ nsuo no mesrɛ yɛ mpanimfoɔ mesrɛ mo ɛnyɛ sɛ lakolako mmɛtena a ɛɛde sɛ wobɛba bɛtena ha na wobɛka nsɛm a wonni because menni document biaa wɔ nti wobɛgyina na woka gye sɛ woyi so wadwe ɛde kasa yɛsum ɔman no
ɛnsuo no deɛ wohinya document River Prade Galamsey. I agree. Your eyes, you can see what they get eyes.
Because me must sacrifice about na do you. Your flower, Uma. Me never sacrifice but me trans. Let me come at me.
I was there for had about community medina see. Before I talk about Chamalakulaku, first Nasara coordinator. Eduma NPP Amanyosem. Yera Koku Eduja Mfia political analyst professionally or a network engineer. Midini Sabo Honto from the captain of the Dutchess. Like I said, comment or sending messages to both Facebook and WhatsApp and that's MCR and control Adam was. Yes, you could manage in conventional Ukrada or my penny letter to Electoral Commission. I demanding Coco CV no Conabano, Uchina, Yebe Digi. Deeper near asking you decide some critical questions there or my penny person or the Electoral Commission no I was here to